Okay, I will be right there. Sorry, I'm a one-person crew today. My name's Holly with Your Gardening Friend, and today I'm going to be talking about some garden watering tips. I know a lot of Your Gardening Friend readers are new to gardening, and actually a lot of you have expressed a desire to start a garden for the first time. So some of this is common sense, some of it, at least one point I will mention, maybe even veteran gardens haven't heard of or haven't thought of. We'll see. Okay, when is the best time to water your garden? Morning, afternoon, evening? Morning is the best time. Now, you can water any time of day, and the way I think of it is it can rain any time of day, and that rain, no matter when it comes, is really good for the plants. But ideally, it would be in the morning. You want to get out here when you can give your plants a really big gulp of water and give them time to soak that in and kind of build up their strength for the long, intense hours of sunlight and heat, especially when you have those scorcher summers like we did last year. If you have to water when it's still dark, early in the morning, like I did one day, 4:30 in the morning. Again, most of you won't have to do this, but there's bound to be a couple. My husband had suggested putting this on, head flashlight, which I thought was pretty ingenious. It worked for a short period. Before long, though, I had bugs all around my face. But it does have a red light, which if I had used that, that probably would have taken care of the bugs. Also, for Christmas one year, we got a flashlight tripod, which serves as a second person or a third arm. You can sit it on the ground, and it will pivot as well, so this could have helped me that dark, early morning. Mulch. I won't talk a whole lot about mulch because I've got, I think, 2 posts from around a year or so ago, actually I think a little over a year, where I went into a lot of detail, and I've also got one more coming up in about a month. But what I will say is it's really good to have maybe a ½ inch or so of mulch right around the base of your plants, not up against the stalk or the stem, but around like the root base and close to the stem. The reason is a couple reasons. One is it creates an evaporation barrier and allows the water to stay near the roots in the ground where it needs to be longer instead of just evaporating out to the air. And also, when you're watering, it's really easy to water the ground and have mud splashing everywhere on yourself and also onto the plants, which can encourage soil-borne pathogens to get onto your plants. So there's a couple of good reasons why to use mulch. I would use it if for no other reason than the mess. And the evaporation barrier. So even if you weren't dealing with any kind of pathogens. Transportation of water. Okay. Water hose. I'm not going to insult you by thinking you don't know what a water hose is or how to use one. But I don't use a water hose up here for the vegetable garden. The setup is just not very conducive for it. I have to drag it across our yard, across the driveway, over by the barn, and then a little couple feet over to our spigot. So that's a real inconvenience for me. And of course I like to wind it all up each time. I can't leave it out because of the mower and the driveway. My husband doesn't like to drive over it, so it's just a hassle for me. So I rarely use the garden hose. What I do use are these water canteens. Each one of these holds 2 gallons. I've got 2 of them, so I've got 4 gallons in one trip. My garden needs about 12 gallons. It's not a real big garden, but 12 gallons, so that's 3 trips. Not real good use of time, but that is usually how I do it. If I had a pull-along wagon, I could buy a few more of these and put 12, and in one trip, get all my water over here. What I do have are these, and plenty of them. My husband saves all of our milk gallon jugs. We have a bunch of them in our barn. So I could fill up 12 of these, stick them in a wheelbarrow, and in one trip have all my water to my garden. Some of you are thinking, oh wow, just use a garden hose. You're complicating it. Yes, I'm complicating it. I sometimes complicate things. But yes, a garden hose is probably going to be just fine for most of you. It's a hassle for me for the vegetable garden, not for my flower garden down by the house. Okay, what I call soft flow of water. You have your sprinklers. I don't like to use sprinklers. I have, but I prefer not to. It would give a soft flow though, kind of like rain. The reason I don't like to use sprinklers is you're watering every square inch of your garden, and I don't need all of that watered, not daily at least. And it takes a really long time to get the plants what they need, because everywhere else is getting a little also. But there are instances where that could be very helpful. I don't know what exactly this is called, but I call it a shower head. This is what I use down by the house for my flowers, and this provides a very soft flow of water, especially if you have one of these water valves where you can adjust the flow, and very easy, very nice, very, very handy. Again, just a common sense thing, but not everybody has one. All right, and then the last soft flow bullet point is sometimes my water hose gets crimped up if I use the water hose, and I have to keep going back and uncrimping it. And one day I thought, wow, if I could just control the amount of crimping so that it wasn't completely crimped and I couldn't get anything out, that would help with a very soft flow. So, got some air in there. All right. So if you crimp the hose, especially in early spring when you have your seedlings and plants are very young and tender, you want to be a little extra care with them. So some of these things, soft flow of water is important then. So as you can see, I still got some air coming out of it. You can give just a little bit, or uncrimp it and get more. Again, the air is still in there. A few seconds and it would come out, but I don't have time right now for the video. Okay. Slow flow of water is what I call the next point. You've got, what's it called? Oh, I forget what it's called. Soaker hoses. I've never owned one. I'm not real crazy about them, but a lot of people think they're great. You'd have to wind it around each row of your plants, which, maybe just one-time investment of time that might be a good thing. So that's one thing to consider is a soaker hose. And of course there's always the high cost sprinkler systems that people use for their yards, but for the everyday person it's a little overkill. I have heard of people using ice cubes, and I've always thought, well, those are going to melt so fast, you might as well just stand there and water your plants. And the whole purpose of me bringing up even something called what I like to think of as soft flow is, or slow flow, I'm sorry, like a time release of water, is sometimes you have those scorcher summers like we did last year. It was crazy hot day after day after day. We didn't have a lot of rain either, and so when you're gone a lot during the day like I am, you can get concerned about your plants and, are they going to last until you can get to water them next. But I got to thinking one night, what I do have, a lot of you have a cow or a deer or a pig in your freezer. My husband puts a lot of these in our freezer. Milk gallon jugs to make ice cubes or other containers kind of like these, because he likes to use them for target practice. And in about 60 seconds, you can make 2 slits. Again, I've timed it a little over 60 seconds. And take one of these out, and you end up with an ice cube like this. So this will definitely provide you with a steady, long time flow of water. Now this is not practical to use for all of your plants. You can't stick one near every single carrot and corn and all that. But if you've got some plants that you're a little more concerned about them needing water, like maybe some of your tomato plants, this is perfect. Stick it next to the base of your plant. I've done this. I just thought of it a couple days ago, so I have done it only 2 times right now. And this would provide a slow, steady flow of water for probably hours, depending on the temperature, how long it takes for it to melt. But as you can see, it's dripping right now. So hopefully some of these tips have been helpful for you, and I thank you, all of you, for watching this video on Your Gardening Friend. Thank you.